What we're going to do is break down each hero, and I'm going to tell you if they win or they lose when it comes to the brand new Overwatch barrier meta. Because remember guys, the PTR has some huge changes and we are expecting these changes to hit the live servers this week. And what are these huge changes? Well, they're fairly simple. What we're looking at is a major nerf to Orisa, to Sigma, and to Reinhardt's primary barriers. Now, Orisa is actually quite strong anyway because she's had buffs in other areas, namely to her Fortify, and Reinhardt's been changed as well, and Sigma's been changed in other areas. We will get onto that in this video, but what you guys have got to remember here is we are going into a brand new tank meta. This means that barriers will not last as long, they will get removed. The question is, what will be the tank combo? What will be the DPS combo? The support combos? What will be the meta comp? Well, this video is going to help us work that out. But what I will say is the meta is very much in flux right now, and it's going to take a few weeks of the game being live, or well, this patch being on the live servers, before we can work that out. Okay, let's get stuck into this. And by the way guys, do leave your comments below on where you think the meta is going. As well, if you like the video, if you really like the video, then do like the video because it really helps. That's my YouTuber instinct there. Also as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell. Let's begin with the tank heroes and let's take a look at D.Va. So D.Va has been buffed on the PTR. Defense matrix cooldown has decreased from 2 to 1.5 seconds. Cool. Now this means she's got more defense matrix, but will we see more D.Va? I don't know. I think D.Va is probably going to be a hero we might see come in against certain enemy compositions, but I don't think this is enough to bring D.Va back to a must-pick off-tank. She's probably going to be okay, but I don't see her power level rising too much as a result of this buff. But it is a buff. She is stronger than she was before, and with barriers being weaker, you could argue that defense matrix could be a very good supplemental barrier, as in it will replace a barrier, because while defense matrix, it eats all the projectiles, it's pretty damn good. So maybe we see D.Va come back a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of wouldn't bet on that right now. Orisa. This is the big one. So Orisa's changes are actually insane. So check this out. Fortify cooldown decreased from 10 to 8 seconds. That means you can fortify more often. Protective barrier, health reduced from 900 to 600. That's a massive nerf on the barrier. Fusion driver, movement speed penalty reduced from 30 to 20%. She moves 10% faster now when firing. And base armor has been increased from 200 to 250. And remember as well, general armor changes. Our armor is now more effective. Instead of damage reduction being 3, it is now 5. So when Orisa gets an additional 50 armor, that's actually insane. So what's going on with Orisa? Orisa is crazy, guys. Now, Orisa's general kind of flow in the game would be you'd deploy the barrier, you'd wait for the barrier to get destroyed, you'd use Fortify, and then you'd drop down a new barrier. It's different now with Orisa because you do it the other way around. What you want to do is use Fortify to begin the fight, almost body block. When Fortify drops, you want to put your barrier down because it's got reduced health. The barrier will then get destroyed. You can Fortify again because Fortify has got reduced cooldown. And then when Fortify drops, you can put another barrier down. So really, Orisa isn't that much different. However, her barrier is weaker. So with sustained fire, the barrier will get destroyed and there will be gaps where Orisa will not have Fortify available. Now, Orisa is a big winner here because Orisa is super tanky. She's lost the group tanking ability from the barrier, but that's been put onto herself, which makes her incredibly tanky. This is because she's got the reduced cooldown on Fortify by 2 seconds, so she can Fortify more often. This makes her immune to knockback effects, crowd control effects. It makes her way more damage resistant. It's just ridiculous. Like, Orisa is probably the most unkillable tank in the game, although I reckon Roadhog is fairly close in that regard. So Orisa, she kind of wins, right? And I think she's still going to be meta. Let's take a look at Reinhardt. Now, Reinhardt is another one who wins in the gameplay department. He's way more fun to play. So this is what Ryan gets. Barrier field, the health is reduced from 2,000 to 1,600. That's a big nerf. That's 400 health. Movement speed penalty reduced from 50 to 25%. This means you move 25% faster than you did originally when you've got your barrier deployed. This is huge because it means you can really get close to the enemy, and so when your barrier gets destroyed, because it's got less health, you can start engaging in melee combat and charging and doing Reinhardt stuff. So it's actually a really nice change to Reinhardt, and he feels really cool to play. The other thing he gets though, and this is massive, is knockback resistance has been increased from 30 to 50%. This is passive, this is steadfast, this is incredible. This means you just cannot get booped, you cannot get knocked around, you are just crazy, right? You are really, really good. And some would argue Reinhardt should have been like this anyway. I mean, I would argue that. So is Reinhardt a winner or a loser? He's a winner because he's more powerful than he was before, even though his barrier has been nerfed. Now, what we're seeing is a lot of Orisa and Reinhardt being played, but I'm not sold on this. I think Orisa Reinhardt, it's got a lot of like kind of gaps in what it can do. Yeah, you've got Orisa with the poke Ryan damage, but range damage even. But then you've just got Ryan, who's sort of like, well, what's he going to do? Just dive in deep and try and do melee damage? I don't know. There's a lot of holes in that comp, but it maybe could be the new double barrier. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, but I'm not really sold on that. But I do think Ryan is a winner, and what I'm seeing here is Reinhardt and Zarya could be a actually really strong combo against an Orisa Sigma or Orisa Hog, because you can just run past the Orisa, use the bubble from the Zarya for protection, Reinhardt just goes in, ignore the Orisa, kill the backline maybe. Could be a bit of a stretch though, but I think Reinhardt wins. Roadhog, massive winner. This is a very easy one to answer. Roadhog wins because barriers are lower in HP. He has massive barrier break potential with his alternate fire. He can now fire an extra shot. This was the previous PTR patch, so he now has 6 ammunition. This is just crazy, right? Hog is, I think what we're looking at, guys, for the meta here is Orisa Hog. Really strong, or Reinhardt Hog. But I think Hog is going to be the standout off tank that you're probably going to want in almost all of your games, and of course works really well with Orisa with the hook combo, just insanely powerful. So Hog wins. Somebody who I don't think wins is Sigma. Now, Sigma's experimental barrier has been reduced from 1500 to 900. Barrier health regeneration rate has also been reduced from 150 to 120 health per second. However, kinetic grasp, the cooldown is reduced from 13 seconds to 10. Damage to shield gain ratio increased from 40 to 60%. So what this means is, again, it's moving away his tanking potential from his barrier and giving it to Sigma. So Sigma can use kinetic grasp more often. He gets way more shields from it, but he's got a weaker barrier. Now, what this means for Sigma is, well, his barrier was where a lot of his strength was. We might see a body block tanking Sigma come into play, and we'll still see Sigma Orisa. I think Sigma's going to be okay, but the big thing here, the big elephant or hog in the room, is just Roadhog. He can destroy the enemy barriers very quick now. Sigma can't do that. So Sigma, I don't know, I think he's probably going to fall out of favor. The last one to talk about here, well, I'm saying the last one, there's actually 3 more to talk about, but the last barrier tank to talk about is Winston. Now, Winston had his dome shield buffed to 700 hit points, which is actually quite good for Winston. And given he's like the dive tank, he's had a barrier buff. Everybody else has had a barrier nerf. This is good for Winston. He's just got more barrier HP. Will we see more Winston in the game though? Maybe if dive comes back. Like, the problem with Winston is he's the dive tank, right? So if you're not running Orisa, Reinhardt, then you're probably going to run Winston, or maybe Wrecking Ball, which I guess is the next one we can jump onto. So winner or loser Winston? Kind of, yeah, if you're playing dive, but if you're not, well then no. Wrecking Ball, though, he wins a hell of a lot here. So Wrecking Ball has been straight up buffed, because remember, armor is buffed. Armor now reduces damage by 5 instead of 3. Wrecking Ball's got quite a lot of armor. He's just better at being Wrecking Ball. So yeah, he's always going to be a very, like, strong pick, I think, especially if you're playing dive. If you go Winston Wrecking Ball, that is going to be insane. It might actually be better than Winston D.Va. Of course, the power of Winston D.Va dive is you've got D.Va who can peel with defense matrix. Hammond can't peel. Hammond just goes in. So I don't know, but Wrecking Ball, I think he wins. He straight up does win because he's just better at doing what he does. Zarya, she wins as well because she has been buffed. So Zarya has got a very specific buff to her particle cannon. So explosion radius on the secondary fire has been increased from 2 to 2.5 meters, which actually is huge, guys, because remember, this is a radius. This isn't just an extra 2.5 meters forward. It's 2.5 meters all around the explosion range. And ammo cost has been decreased from 25 to 20. This is good. She just does more damage. Now, the thing with Zarya, Reinhardt is stronger, so he will come back. That means Zarya comes back, so she wins just because Reinhardt wins, but also she wins as well because there's less barriers on the field. Less overall combined barrier health means that Zarya can do more damage because she's not the best at destroying barriers, but if barriers are not there, she's going to be more effective. So that wraps up the tanks, guys. I don't think it's too complicated. Just to do a very quick recap, and the reason why we've spent a long time on the tanks here, and we will blast through the other heroes pretty quickly now, is this was a tank update. It was a barrier update on the PTR. It's where a lot of the changes are going to come in, like, that we'll see straight away. However, other heroes will change. So I think we should move on to the damage heroes. Ashe. Ashe doesn't win because there's still barriers. The problem with Ashe is even if there is a barrier, it doesn't matter if it's a 50 HP barrier, 100 HP barrier, whatever, it stops her doing damage and it's massively, massively debilitating to her. She is probably, I'm just going to say this, probably the worst DPS in the game right now. If you can get into good flank positions, yeah, you can make her work, but when compared to other heroes, yeah. And this is the disclaimer in this video as well, guys. When I'm saying Ashe is a winner, Ashe is a loser, and maybe McCree is a winner, I'm coming at it from the viewpoint of a similar skilled player playing all of the heroes, because you could be an incredibly good Ashe player, but a terrible McCree player, which, I mean, would never really be the case because they're both hitscan. But even if it was, in that case, you would be more effective on the Ashe than the McCree. However, Ashe's problem is barriers, and they're still in the game, so Ashe is always going to suffer. I feel like she needs like some sort of a faster reload, or maybe she reloads 2 bullets instead of 1 at a time. I don't know. Bastion. So Bastion wins, doesn't he? Barriers are less HP. Bastion annihilates barriers, so we might see a lot of Bastion. This is what I'm worried about. We might see loads and loads of Bastion because he can just delete stuff and remove it from the game because he rips barriers apart. Doomfist has been nerfed. Now, Doomfist, yeah, so when he punches Reinhardt now, he doesn't move. When he punches Orisa and she uses Fortify, she doesn't move. So a couple of primary tanks there are countering Doomfist in a big way, which he wasn't really countered before. I mean, okay, Fortify always countered him, but now Orisa can Fortify more. So we might see a little bit less Doomfist. The thing is, he's still Doomfist. He still has that very strong one-hit, one-kill potential, so he's still kind of okay. Genji has been buffed. Now, Genji has got 6 extra shurikens. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but that means 2 additional alternate fires before you have to reload. And I tell you something, that actually does help quite a bit with Genji, because there's a lot of times where you get people down to like 1 HP, and well, I say 1, you know, they may be 10% HP, and you just need that extra shot, but you have to reload, and maybe they get a heal, and it's frustrating. So Genji is buffed, and it is the first direct buff Genji has ever had in the game. He's better, right? But will he be stronger? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see where the meta goes here. If it goes back to dive, yeah, Genji comes in. If it doesn't, Genji's still kind of going to be where he was before. Hanzo. Hanzo wins because there's less barriers. And this is a common theme you'll notice, guys, throughout the DPS. Barriers have got less health. Hanzo's great at destroying barriers. So Hanzo will get more cheeky arrows in and might get more cheeky headshots and might get more cheeky kills. So Hanzo just wins. Junkrat is exactly the same. Amazing at destroying barriers. So, well, if you blow barriers up because they've got less health, then you do more damage to the enemy team. Fantastic. Probably still a bit of a situational pick. Probably still only works on certain maps. Maybe Iconvolt first point defense, or even Iconvolt first point attack if you're PvP, he was just an absolute Junkrat god. But things like Anubis first point defense, you're going to be really good there, right? So there's going to be points where Junkrat is still super strong. McCree, okay, McCree wins because there's less barrier health out there, and McCree is actually pretty good at destroying barriers with his alternate fire. Alternate fire roll, alternate fire, pretty strong. So we might see more McCree. I'm hoping we do, because I really enjoy playing McCree. So this is kind of a bit of a personal bias coming here, but I think McCree is going to win. Mei. Mei's just really good anyway. Like, Mei is actually really, really good. I think a lot of people were sleeping on Mei for a long time, but we're starting to see a lot more Mei these days, and yeah, she's just incredibly good. So Mei, yeah, she wins. She always wins. Fara, a difficult one, Fara. I'm going to say because there's less barriers, maybe she wins. The problem with Fara is if there is more D.Va because there's less Sigma and people start playing D.Va as an off-tank, then Fara will lose a hell of a lot because D.Va annihilates Fara. Like, she can just mess Fara's day up like you wouldn't believe. And of course, if we see more McCree coming in, because there's less barrier health, potentially maybe even more Soldier, although we'll get onto him in a second, Fara will probably lose. Reaper. Reaper wins because Reaper can just, well, I mean, he's point blank massive damage, less barriers. Okay, there's actually more armor now, so Reaper is less effective against the armor, but he's still really strong. You know, he's still in there with massive regen. He's still going to be super good. So Reaper, I don't think Reaper's going to change too much compared to where he is now, because he's still going to be good at what he does. Soldier is the funky one. Now, Soldier, I know it's kind of sad to say this, but I think Soldier's my favorite hero in the game. I really enjoy playing Soldier. I've not been able to play him for 2 years because there's a lot of barriers in Overwatch. I don't think I'm still going to be able to play him. However, there is less barriers on the field, so potentially you'll be able to find more openings with Soldier to make it work. The problem I've got with Soldier is right now, to make him work, you need to do a lot of flanks. You need to, you know, really go on crazy flanks to circumnavigate the enemy shields. I don't think that's going to be viable. So I hope Soldier comes back, but I'm a little bit unsure here. But he does win because there's less barriers. But does he win enough to maybe pick him over a McCree? Probably not. I don't know. But we're going to have to wait and see. I'm definitely going to try a lot with Soldier and see what happens. Sombra, okay. Sombra, Sombra just isn't meta at the moment, which is really weird because Sombra you would think would be super strong. You've got these hacks, you've got EMP, it's awesome. Shields are getting nerfed though, so there's less emphasis on needing EMP to remove the shields, or less emphasis on hacking a Reinhardt, for example, or an Orisa, so they don't put their shields down. The thing is though, she's still kind of good at that. Like, the problem with Sombra's always had is she relies on team coordination, and it's difficult to pull off team coordination on the ladder. But even saying that, you don't see much Sombra at the pro level, really, because again, there's more effective heroes to play. So I don't know about Sombra. I think if you're a dedicated and a very specialized Sombra player, you'll probably still be okay. But beyond that, I don't know. Symmetra. Okay, Symmetra. You could argue Symmetra loses a little bit because there's less barriers. So there's less things for Symmetra to charge upon. But here's the thing. She wins because she can delete the barriers really quick. So if a Rein comes at you, and there's going to be a lot of Reinhardt guys, I'm telling you straight up, there's going to be a lot of Reinhardt players when this patch drops. Turret's on the point. Symmetra beaming down the Reinhardt, destroys barrier really quick. You've got a supercharged beam, you're just deleting everybody. So I think she's going to win. So yeah, again, that's a hero I'm looking forward to play. Definitely a winner. Torbjorn has been buffed. Now, Torb wins, but Torb is like a bit of a sleeper. Like, people, I don't think they, like, I'm not sure people realized how good Torb were. I think we did, and then he got nerfed, and we kind of stepped away and was like, yeah, you know, we're not really going to pay too much attention to Torb there. But the thing with Torb is his overload, the cooldown is decreased from 12 to 10 seconds, so we can use it more often. Now, Torb's alternate fire absolutely shreds barriers, and yes, barriers have got less health, so he can destroy them quicker. So you imagine, like, I think of things like this. Imagine if you've got, like, an Orisa and a Hog and a Torb. Well, those three heroes are going to delete barriers, and that's what worries me. That could be meta. Or maybe you change the Torb with a Hanzo or something like that, and yeah, we just go back to Orisa Hog. Tracer. I think she wins, right? She wins because armor's more effective. So if you get a Brig, and Brig, by the way, wins in this patch, and you throw armor packs into your Tracer, she is incredibly powerful. Now, Tracer's problem is armor's more effective. The way Tracer fires tons of shots out, tons of pellets out, it's not going to be the best, but she still does a ton of damage, right? And remember, Tracer got buffed as well recently with her increased drop-off range, so she's more effective at range now, which is good. Obviously not incredible range, but she's okay. The thing with Tracer is she's going into, well, I don't know. Like, I'm honestly going to leave Tracer at this and say I don't know. I hope that she gets played more because I enjoy Tracer, but I don't know. Widowmaker. All right. Widow should win because there's less barriers. Widow, though, and this is going to make me laugh, she's got an infinite skill ceiling. You'll see people say that a lot. Now, most heroes have got an infinite skill ceiling. But Widow, if you can land the shots, you will always get the rewards. And with less barriers, you're going to get more shots, aren't you? So she should just straight up win. Okay, guys, let's round this off with the supports. Anna wins because there's less barriers, but there's still barriers, right? But there's also going to be a Divas, probably. Sigma's there with his suck. There's a lot of stuff that can mess up Anna, but Anna, she's going to win because there's less barriers. And if Genji comes back into the meta, because we go into more of a dive style comp, we might see more Anna because you get the easy nano blade combo. So Anna, yeah, she definitely wins, but does she win enough to replace the other healers? I'm not sure. Batiste. Okay, I really like Batiste. I think Batiste is a super fun hero to play. Now, remember, Batiste's got a buff to the spread of his weapon. Basically, he has no spread, so he can just fire away now, which is actually really good. Now, barriers have got less health. I've said that quite a lot in this video. However, this means Batiste is actually quite good at pumping damage into a barrier. In fact, Batiste Soldier is a fairly funky combo for just burning down barriers at range. So, I don't know, but you could argue that Hanzo Batiste would be better, or, you know, anybody other than Soldier. I just want Soldier to be in the game. But Batiste is fine, right? He's totally fine. You can totally play him, right? In fact, I think he's probably going to be pretty much where he is right now, where you see Batiste or Moira as the main support. Mercy as well, you can kind of throw in. Anyway, Brig. Brig is buffed because armor is better. So Brig is actually really, really good because she can give you armor. And this is not to be discredited, guys. She is actually really good right now on the PTR. If you start seeing dive heroes coming back into the game, Genjis, your Tracers, well, Brig's quite good at dealing with them. Even with her nerfed barrier, she can still push them away. She's not so good at securing kills on them now, but she can get rid of them. like push them away, discourage them from attacking your back line, which is strong. But remember, armor is super strong. I'm seeing things in my head here, like Brick throwing armor onto Reinhardt as they're going in, and they're just going to be incredibly strong. So yeah, she definitely wins. Lucio wins as well, because if we see more Rein and we see Zarya, Lucio works really well with those two heroes because he can increase their movement speed, get them into the fight. Let's start having a brawl. Lucio wins, guys. Like 100% wins. The support meta is actually in a really good place, I think. A lot of them are playable, with the exception of Zen. Poor Zen. Anyway, we'll get onto him in a second. So Mercy, yeah, Mercy wins as well. Like, Mercy's been buffed recently with Valkyrie, so now when she uses the healing beams, they go through barriers, which is cool. There's less barriers, so there'll be less things to block her actual normal healing and all of that stuff. So actually, no, it doesn't get blocked, does it, her normal healing? I do stand corrected there, it doesn't. But Mercy wins, right? It's fine. I think it's just Mercy's just in a fine place. You can play Mercy, and that's cool. You see a lot of things like Batiste Mercy, it's fine. Mercy Moira, it's fine. You know, Mercy Lucio, yeah, it's probably fine. Moira has been nerfed. Now, I don't know if this is enough to stop Moira being massively good at outputting loads of healing. In fact, I'm probably going to say maybe it isn't. So Moira's Biotic Grasp, so her primary fire, the healing is reduced from 4 to 3.25. This is 80 heals per second down to 65 heals per second. That's a nerf, and a pretty big nerf there. I mean, that's 25 less heals per second. The thing is, though, I think she's going to be okay. You've got to think how Moira operates. She's got a shift where she can just, well, or a, what's it called actually? I was going to call it Wraith Form. It's not called, I don't know what it's called. Shift is because I play on PC, guys. But yeah, she can use her movement ability, which gives her invincibility frames, and she can just get out of grabs and whatever with it. So yeah, it's really good. She's got to disengage effectively. She can heal herself by doing damage. She's very easy to do damage with. So if dive comes back and you've got a Moira and a Batiste as your supports, it's going to be fine. You know, on the defensive side, if you were getting dove upon. However, if you were a dive comp, you probably wouldn't take the Moira. You'd look for maybe a Lucio, probably a Batiste, I don't know, or maybe even an Anna. But Moira, yeah, I still think she's going to be strong, guys. Zen is the outlier here. Like, Zen is the support that was mega strong for years and years and years. Now he's not, and we don't see him that often. It's simply because there's too much stuff stopping him doing damage. Now, his Discord Orb is one of the best abilities in the game. Transcendence is an amazing ultimate, but Zen cannot do damage. Like, Zen does not do enough healing with his Orb of Harmony, sorry. He doesn't do enough healing with it to warrant him not doing any damage. When you can take a Moira or you can take a Batiste, and think of Batiste and the way he does damage, you can jump above barriers and fire down. Now, yes, barriers are not as strong as they used to be, but I don't know. Zen is just one I don't think we're going to see coming back. But you can play all of the other supports by any means, guys. And I hope Zen comes back, but I can't really see him winning from this meta. So there you go, guys. That's a pretty comprehensive breakdown of where I think each hero will lie as this, I was going to say season begins. It's not a new season, is it? But as this patch hits the live servers, it's a completely new game. I've been really looking forward to this. I haven't been playing a lot of Overwatch over the last few months, if I'm totally honest. But these changes on PTR are fantastic, and I cannot wait to get back into it. Cannot wait to get back into pumping out loads of videos on Overwatch again, because I'm getting that fire back in my belly again. Like, the love for Overwatch is coming back, guys, and obviously, I want to share that with you. All right, guys. I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa, and also @Stylosa on Instagram as well. And my Twitch is, /Stylosa on Twitch, which is wonderful. And I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.